Hey guys, and welcome back. So today what I want to do is I want to talk about some things that preppers and survivalists don't necessarily talk about a whole lot. And it's not because they're not important, it's just because a lot of people think that they're common sense. And as I've been going through this, I feel that it still sometimes needs to be said. Because some people lack in common sense, and sometimes people just don't think about it. And these are just basic little things that if you're getting into the prepping world, or maybe if you've been in there a while, you've kind of forgot about and maybe you should check back on. The number one thing is to be a prepper or survivalist, you really have to be in some kind of shape. If you can't bend over and tie your shoes or walk up a flight of stairs or carry, let's say 50 pounds for a mile, you should really focus on getting in shape at that point, because in a survivalist or bug out situation, you're stuck in the wilderness. You're not just walking on the road. You're not just walking, on a nice clean trail. You are going out and you are trekking through the woods. And if you are not in at least some kind of decent shape, you're going to end up hurting yourself. Or you're going to end up bringing the people who are with you down. You're going to limit them. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to be the cause of somebody else getting hurt or falling behind or anything like that. You want to be able to take care of yourself and be able to move proficiently. And I'm not in the greatest shape in the world. I've actually started working on it. I'm trying to get into better shape because I realize that in a real bug out situation, my health and mobility might slow me down a little bit. And I'm not in terrible shape, but I could be in better shape to better help myself survive. The next thing I want to talk about are your hands. So many times I see people out doing survival and prepping videos, chopping wood and cutting things with no gloves on. And that drives me insane. I think that if you were cutting something, no matter what it is, if you're cutting something, you should have gloves on. Or if you're digging, you should have gloves on. If you're really doing anything with your hands, you should have gloves on. And the reason I think you should have gloves on is because you only have two hands. If you cut up your hands or you injure your hands, you are limiting yourself at that point. And in a survival situation, that could cost you your life. Your hands are one of your most important tools. So take care of them. If you're using an axe, wear a pair of gloves. If you're cutting something with a knife, I know even if it's something simple like a piece of string or something, maybe you ain't got to put on gloves for that. But if you're whittling on a piece of wood, cutting notches in a piece of wood, you're doing a lot with a knife or an edged item, wear gloves. If you're digging a hole, wear gloves. Take care of your hands because you're going to need them. And it's just one of those things that I don't know if it gets overlooked, if these people are rushed or what, but the last thing you want to do is take your hands out of the game or cut yourself really bad and mess up a tendon or something that you actually need medical attention for, that you have to figure out how to patch up in the survival situation or the bug out situation or whatever situation you're in. That is terrible if that happens to you. And it all can mostly be prevented by just wearing a pair of good leather gloves or cut resistant gloves or really just any kind of glove so that your hands are protected. Because without your hands, you're done. Brings me to my next point, your feet. Just like your hands, you ain't got but two of them. And if you damage them, it is going to hinder your ability to move. And even simply do simple tasks. And what I mean by taking care of your feet is you need to look at, depending on what kind of situation you're in, if you are going to be, you shouldn't be trying to survive in high heels or doing a whole lot of mountain hiking in tennis shoes. I recommend getting a good pair of hiking boots. You don't have to wear hiking boots every day. That's not what I'm saying. That's not practical. But if your bug out bag's in your car, tie your hiking boots or somehow attach your hiking boots to that bag, or just put them in the trunk with the bag or in your back seat or wherever you secure your bug out bag. Put a proper pair of footwear right next to it. I'm actually currently wearing a pair of hiking boots right now that were given to me that I'm trying to break in. Been walking around in them all day. That's the other point. Don't just buy them and tie them to it, because when it's time to put them on, if they're not broke in, you're breaking them in on the run, it's not going to be any fun. And it's just going to make your situation worse. So wear them. Break them in. Wear them a week or two. Or on the weekends when you're at home just walking around doing stuff around your house. Or wear them to the store to go get groceries or whatever. Wear them until they are broken in. But every time you take them off, put them right back with your bug out bag so that even if they're not broken in, you still have them with you. And I recommend good quality and waterproof. Lace up, preferably a little above your ankle so that it keeps your ankle from rolling as easily when you are running or walking in uneven terrain, which in a bug out or survival situation, most of us will be. Or if you're just running in general, you've got them. And they allow better traction and support than a pair of tennis shoes or just a regular pair of slip-on boots or anything like that. The next thing I want to talk about is your clothing. Okay, the sun's out right now. I'm wearing sunglasses. I'm protecting my eyes. That is a good piece of kit to have. Sunglasses. Buy a cheap pair. Put them in your bug out bag because you never know when you're going to need them. I always have a pair of sunglasses with me. At night, sunglasses are on the top of my head because I always have a pair of sunglasses. And I generally always have a hat on. Keeps my face shaded. My head cool. All of that. But make sure that your clothing is proper. If you have to wear a lot of dresses or suits or anything like that to work, in the trunk of your car next to your hiking boots, put a decent pair of pants and a shirt. And this needs to be adjusted for the time of year it is. If it's summertime, a thinner pair of pants and a thinner shirt to keep you cool. But also make sure that you put like a rain jacket in there in case it rains and stuff, because just that little bit of being dry can help you out a lot in the long run. And I never recommend wearing shorts. And the reason why is just like the boots, protection. Wearing pants means I can walk through taller grass. My legs aren't getting cut up. Bugs have less access to me. Mosquitoes have less access to me. And if you just, I have to have my shorts. Okay, I'm going hiking in the mountains or down these trails. I have to have some shorts. They make pants that are just as thin as shorts that will keep you cool. But if you have to have shorts, get the pants that zip off into shorts. Because you can also use those sleeves for the sleeve of the pant or the leg part of the pant for other things. You could tie it up on both ends and carry stuff in it and stuff like that. But I never recommend wearing shorts in a survival situation. So if you're going hiking and you have to have shorts, or you just think you have to have shorts, make sure you get the kind of pants that zip off, and then you can zip them off, zip them on. Because if you're out there and it cools off, you can zip them, put them on. And if you brought that rain jacket with you like you should, you can put it on, and you have a way to stay a little bit warmer. You have better clothing. And another thing that I think you should really think about always keeping with you, winter, summer, any time of year, sunscreen. The sun's always out, and the sun will take the energy and zap the energy and tear you up just as bad as falling and scraping up your knee or cutting yourself or twisting an ankle. It can take you out of the game just as fast. So that's really kind of it. It's clothing, I think, is a huge one that people overlook all the time. Right now, I'm not even dressed for the environment I'm in. It's windy, it's cool, but it's not cold. Shorts would be too little, so I'm wearing jeans and I'm wearing a black t-shirt. Well, black and the sun don't go together, and I'm currently sitting directly in the sun. But I have my eyes protected, I have sunglasses on. I have my head protected, I have a hat on. And as it cools off, you'll see me still in this hat, but I guarantee you that I've got a toboggan in my pocket or in my jacket that I'm wearing, because you never know the situation you're going to get stuck in. And at this point in the year, my gear's got to be right in the middle. It's cold at night and warm during the day. So I've got to be able to shed layers, but also stay warm at night. So I threw a jacket in my truck. I'm going to throw a toboggan in my truck. And at least I will have that with me. And like I said, I'm breaking in these boots today again. And normally I have on boots during the winter. I have tennis shoes on during the summer. I never wear flip-flops. Okay? Never do I wear flip-flops or Crocs. Crocs are, if you have to pick one, Crocs are better. They got a strap on the back. You can kind of get away with it. But the tennis shoes during the summer, okay? Or like a kayaking shoe or a waterproof or a shoe that can get wet, but that still has a lot of breathability. Wear them all the time during the summer. If I was going to go hiking, I'd put on hiking boots. I never wear flip-flops because flip-flops offer no protection. They are the most useless shoe ever made. I hate them. I would rather have to wear high heels. I'm not going to lie. But clothing's one of those, clothing and shoes get overlooked so much in the survival community. Nobody ever talks about part of your kit needs to be a good pair of boots. Good pair of lace-up boots. Because even in a survival situation, you have laces at that point. And if they're in the trunk of your car, they're not bothering nobody. Just make sure you broke them in, so you don't have to break them in on the run. Just clothing. If you have to wear a skirt every day, do you want to be in a survival situation running through the streets away from an angry mob in a skirt? No, and I'm not saying that you want to strip on the side of the street either and put on pants, but you can slip them pants on, slip the skirt off. Guys don't have that problem as much because we don't wear skirts really. But if you're in suit pants, well, suit pants are not the most rugged thing. Having a spare pair of pants in your vehicle and a spare shirt so you can get out of that collared shirt, you can get out of that suit, is a great thing to have. So remember, protect your hands. Wear gloves. Add gloves to all your kit. Leather gloves, good gloves for cutting and digging and tasks like that, so that you don't damage your hands and end up putting yourself in an even worse situation. Because if you don't have your hands, or you're down to one hand, and what if it's your non-dominant hand? Now you're trying to cut stuff and do things with that hand and you're not used to it. So if you put yourself at a disadvantage when all you had to do was slip on a pair of gloves to cut that log up, or to dig that hole, or to, cut them notches into that piece of wood to make whatever you were making, and you helped lower the risk of damaging your hands. Good shoes to help keep your feet safe and dry and comfortable and blister-free as much as possible, so that you can still move and be mobile. The last thing you want to do is be on the sidelines because your feet are tore up. On top of that, a good pair of socks. I'm talking about some hiking socks. They make them. Go get a pair of hiking socks. And adjust your footwear or your socks for the weather. If it's cold out, throw a pair of wool socks in your bag, but also a pair of regular hiking socks, because they're made out of two different materials, but they will both help protect your feet. Good socks, good boots, good gloves. Sunscreen, sunglasses. I mean, these are just things that people don't think about and they never talk about in a survival situation, and they really should. And that's going to do it, guys. So get those gloves, get the boots, sunscreen, socks, sunglasses. Make sure that your kit is up to date for the weather change, for the seasons, for the environment that you were in. Nobody knows the environment you live in better than you. If you're not in the greatest shape, I recommend start working on it. Just start working on it. I'm not bashing nobody. I'm not in the greatest shape, but I'm trying now because I realize that I am not in good enough shape if a survival situation came up and I had to run. If I have to run, I'm done. But I can walk a mile or two with 60, 70 pounds on my back. Done it before. So I'm going to leave you with this. You have to train. You can't just buy all this stuff and say, yeah, I'm ready to go. If you don't know how to use it, it's not going to do you any good. If you do not train with your gear, if you do not know that you can carry your pack for a few miles, you need to test that. Pack it the way you would pack it. Know what you can actually already carry and strike it out. And I'm going to give you the fact to just strike out down the road, down the street. Actual elevation, don't get on a treadmill. That's dumb. Treadmills they make life easy. I'm not going to tell you just go hike off through the woods. Unless you have some hiking trails around, take it and do hiking trails where elevation changes and drops and twists and turns and stuff like that, so you can see how far you can carry it. Because that 80 pounds of gear, if you can't carry it, does you no good. And you could be like me, and part of my bug out gear is my vehicle. But that's what I built it for. But if I have to leave it, I still have enough kit that I can leave it. So get in shape. Make sure that you can carry your gear. Train with your gear. Walk with your gear. Train with that gear on your back. And then train how to use the gear in the pack, because buying it and never using it doesn't help you. If you've got food and stuff in your pack, check the expiration dates. Get you a good pair of boots and a good pair of socks. Break in the boots, stick the socks in the boots, stick an extra pair in your pack of good hiking socks and a pair of wool socks also. Get you some sunscreen so you don't have to worry about getting sunburnt. I recommend putting a cheap pair of sunglasses in there, and get you a good pair of leather gloves. And you put your winter gloves and stuff in there too to keep you warm. But then you have the leather gloves for doing manual labor and cutting things and stuff like that to protect your hands. This is just a few things. I mean, I could go on like this for hours about things that people don't talk about, that they really should. But these are a few that I feel are 100% necessary that nobody ever talks about at all. So check your kit, guys. Make sure everything's still in date. Make sure you know how to use everything that's in there. Take some classes. Go out and practice it. Even if you just start a small little fire in your backyard with that ferro rod you've never used. Practice carrying your gear on your back. See how far you can get. Make sure that you are in good enough physical shape to actually carry your gear. Get you some good hiking boots. Get you some sunglasses, throw them in there, and some sunscreen and a good pair of work gloves. Y'all should be okay. I'm not trying to just help you survive. I'm trying to help you thrive when you do have to survive. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Y'all stay frosty, and I'll see you next time.